I'm going on an adventure!
You may quest the way you like. I will quest the way I like.
What is your quest?
This is the first stop on your first quest. We shall go together.
What kind of a quest?
An ancient seer who helps many on their quest. If it's for the quest, we will do what needs to be done.
Will be my quest.
For the quest.
Your quest.
Let us quest! This quest sucks.
The Quest for 100, episode 5, live in action. What's going on, everybody? Big Papa Matt and Bcon.
What up?
One of those ways. He's over here on one of these screens. Somewhere around us. We are back. We are excited. And we can't wait to talk some movies with you guys. We are super stoked. I know there were some great movies. There were some poor movies. And I can't wait to talk to them about you, man. So, month of March basically is over. We've got this weekend to technically make sure we're stay on pace. Got to hit 26. Where do you currently stand, B?
I am currently at 25.
25. I just hit 27 as of last night.
You're one ahead. I'm one behind. You're like, thank you.
It feels good. It feels good.
No,
I'm not gonna lie.
For me.
No hurricane heist, and it's like I haven't even seen it in the movies, so I was like, oh man, I might get lucky here. I may not be able to see hurricane heist. It's not even on. So.
Shout out to our boy Absolute Zero on Twitter, who's been joining the quest along with us. He, by the way, is way ahead of us. I mean, like, freaking way ahead of us. He was at like 30 something movies as of like 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, Absolute is crushing it right now.
He said he bit the bullet and went and watched it for us.
Oh man,
he equated it to it was like Sharknado on the big screen. So it was probably Sharknado is probably even better. So
I mean,
it's got some sort of cult following.
Yeah, it's probably better purely just because it doesn't have to be on the big screen. So that's a nice thing about that.
Yeah, that movie's terrible.
It's really, really rough. That's for sure. So. But other than that, man, how's everything else been going? How is the movie going scene out there in the Idahos? Anything new and exciting you can't wait to talk about?
Yeah, I got something let's start off with a nerd rage moment, if that's cool with you.
I'm okay with that. Let's do it.
Good with that? Cool. Well, first of all, work has been like, that's going to be my excuse for why I'm still one behind. Work has been crazy. I just closed out a quarter.
Okay.
And so you know how it gets when you're at the end of kind of a quarter, a businessly quarter, how busy things get. So it was a little hectic, a little busy. I just got done with that today. So I'm gonna go catch a flick tonight and get right back on track. Here's what I'm pissed about is Isle of Dogs. Everybody knows that's been listening to this show, like how jacked up I've been for this movie. How much I love Wes Anderson, how much I've been just anticipating Atari Kobayashi's journey to save his lost dog. And it came out March 23rd, and it is still not in theaters. Today is April 6th. It is not in theaters in Idaho yet. And it will not be in theaters until next Thursday. It is playing in one theater, and there's 4 showings that day. So I have to basically drive to the next town over, 2 towns over, to be able to catch this movie next week. And I'm freaking pissed, and here's why. I want you, Big Papa Matt, to guess what all is still playing in the Idaho theaters right now.
Oh yes, I cannot wait. I want to know what people in Idaho think is going to be a better film than Isle of Dogs. So let's start off with let's go. I'm gonna go with a big one here because it was our punishment for like 2 months ago. Let's say 50 Shades is still in.
No.
Okay, not that bad.
Churchy community here too. So
okay,
that didn't last.
That's long. I was just thinking maybe it's there. I don't know.
You got to go farther back, bro.
Okay. Whoa, further.
A long
while. I, Tanya.
Farther back.
What? The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman just finally left. I mean, like literally, like last week, they were still doing like the sing along where you had a regular show and then they had a sing-along
Yeah,
show?
well, they just released the sing-alongs in the theater near me. They just released the sing-alongs.
So the sing-along's been going on for a while in mine, but they literally just ended Big Greatest Showman like last week.
Gotcha. I'm gonna say Jumanji is still out.
Yes.
No shit.
Yes. Jumanji is still showing, like, multiple showings, dude. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's on Blu-ray and DVD now.
That's so crazy because even at the really big Cineplex near me, Unsane for the last week and a half has only had one showing every day, and now it's gone. So I barely caught it.
Yeah, like Hurricane Heist is no longer, thank God, is no longer shown in my big movieplex. I don't even know that Wrinkle in Time is. I think it got booted. So they're just cycling through movies right now, hoping that I think something sticks. But Jumanji is still playing multiple showings a day.
Wow.
At my big Cineplex. So yeah, you can't get freaking Isle of Dogs. And I love Jumanji. We talked about it.
Jumanji was phenomenal.
This year.
Jumanji was phenomenal. It really was. It was one of my first ones I saw this year. But Isle of Dogs is really good, and it definitely deserves to be on more than Jumanji. It probably won't make as much money as Jumanji, but it deserves to be on 100%.
Yeah, when I have Sherlock Gnomes playing along, it's like, come on, bro. Oh, Black Panther is still in my major theater right now.
Okay.
It does have Wrinkle is still playing. Pac Rim is playing.
You could
Ready
totally
Player
drop
One.
Pac Rim for Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
In my opinion, you could also drop Ready Player One, but I know they won't.
Blockers just came out. Quiet Place is out. Tomb Raider's still playing.
So-
Apostle Christ is playing. God's Not Dead's playing. Because you got to remember, this is
Yeah.
I got 3 church movies going.
Well, so
Tyler Perry's Acrimony.
I wanted to see, and I know like the church stuff, you can say whatever you want, but what's the one with the song? I Can Only Imagine.
I can only imagine, yeah.
That's playing at one of my local theaters, and I'm kind of thinking I might go check that out this weekend just because I love music that much. And yes, I know it's a worship song, if you want to call it that, things like that. But
it's based on true story too.
but the other thing is, like, I'm cool with Dennis Quaid. Like, there's people out there that hate on Dennis Quaid, and I'm cool with him. And I watched an interview before I went and saw Tomb Raider, I think it was on. They did like, an AMC behind the whatever scenes, and they had an interview with Dennis Quaid, and it really, I was like, man, I kind of want to see this flick. Like, that was a really cool interview. Like, Dennis Quaid made this movie sound really good all of a sudden that I want to see it now. So
my mother-in-law and sister-in-law went to see it, and it was like my father-in-law, like one of his favorite songs, like before he passed from cancer like 4 years ago. And it was like one of his favorite songs. And so like they were just like, they came home all like puffy-eyed and
Oh man, that was like the whole theater during Love, Simon for me. Like the whole theater walked out. Everybody was like, "Let me get some napkins."
I got to recommend Love, Simon to a colleague who was he spent some time down in Colorado with his girlfriend, and they were like, "Hey, we got some time off this afternoon. We're wondering like, what would you recommend we go see?" And I was like, well, if Shape of Water's in the theater, you should go see Shape.
Absolutely.
And I said, because I'm always going to recommend it if it's in the theater. And I said, if it's not, you know what? I would say go see Love, Simon.
Yeah.
And they went and saw Love, Simon, and he said like she like ugly cried through like half the movie, but she absolutely loved it. They both loved the movie, and then I finally convinced them to go watch Shape, so they're gonna go watch that this weekend, because she was like, I heard it's a thriller, and she was a little bit like thinking it was gonna be like a scary Guillermo movie. I was like, no.
Yeah.
It's like love story Guillermo, like.
Yeah, this is like the adult Guillermo movie. It's kind of a mature monster flick from him. So
I don't want to get too off base too, but I've been listening to the audiobook, so I didn't even know.
Oh yeah, how's that?
So it's by audiobook, it's like 13 and a half hours long, and the book is actually written by Guillermo and Daniel Krauss, and it's pretty freaking awesome, dude. It gives so much like backstory, like it follows Strickland going down to South America and getting the creature, and it kind of it tells that story.
Nice. That's a part of the story. I mean, I could have had another 20-30 minutes of Shape of Water if that was the story that was being told.
And that's how the book starts off, is it's telling that story of him going through the Amazon to get to this creature. And so it gives you so much more depth into the relationship between Strickland and the creature. And then it also just kind of gives you more detail into the history of this creature. 'Cause it's like, dude, he is like an Amazonian god, like lived for thousands of years, possibly. Like they don't know, and so it's kind of really cool. It gives you some more history, and it's and it reads as well as it watched so far. Like I am not disappointed with the movie at this. You know me, like if I've read the book, I usually don't like the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
but this is basically a movie based off a screenplay, though, right? So this is kind of what like they did with Star Wars back in the 70s, right? They created this book after screenplays were released.
Maybe because the screenplay's probably been out for a while.
Yeah,
because they obviously been filming them. It took years to film the movie. I'd have to look at the actual publication date of the book, but
gotcha. Yeah,
I know the audiobook was just released this year, like in March, so. It's the audiobook is new. Got it.
That makes sense. Well, that's cool. No, that's super funny though. That man, I feel bad for you out there because yeah, I got Isle of Dogs, and man, we had a nice full theater last weekend watching Isle of Dogs. Man, we had a ton of fun with it. There's just some fantastic moments with that, and I won't spoil anything. But what was really cool is the first. I mean, it was so Wes Anderson, right? So right up front. Right after title credits, it literally is like FYI, warning. There are subtitles in this film, and everyone speaks their native language. Only dog will be translated. So unless there is a translator or a interpreter, you will not be able to understand anything. Except for the dog. And so like the only language that's being interpreted the whole time is dog. So if Japanese is being spoken, anything like that, if you don't speak it, you don't know what's going on with those verbs, that language. And what made it really cool, was kind of fun about it, is you still knew what was happening based off the body language. Like that's how good the animation was, is there was still so much emotion, so much being said without actually understanding the words to it, which was really cool. So it was a ton of fun.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and run down the list then of what we've watched, and then we can just kind of jump in and talk some more.
Yeah, absolutely.
One. So when we last left off, we were both at 20 movies exactly. We last left off. I had watched Every Day. You'd watched Love, Simon. If you want, I'll just read them off. And then
let's do it. Shout out to Nicholas Norfolk, by the way, on iTunes for the 5-star review. Thank you, Nicholas.
Yeah, that's
absolute, right?
We appreciate you, bud.
Yeah, thank you
very, very much. And I love that he sends me like DMs all the time on Twitter with like little insights into things that he's watched or seen. So he definitely on this quest along with us. So we appreciate that.
That's awesome, man.
He's pacing us. He's setting the pace for us.
Yeah, you're like absolutely. You're like the world record right now. We're like we're looking at the Olympic record right now. So.
Yeah, you're Michael Phelps where everybody else, okay? So both of us saw Tomb Raider. I know you caught up on Wrinkle in Time. We both watched Pacific Rim. I went and saw Midnight Sun. We both watched Ready Player One. You caught Isle of Dogs, Unsane, and The Quiet Place. And I rounded up my 25th movie with Paul the Apostle of Christ. So
nice.
Caught that right before Easter, so
boom, nice little Easter flick.
Yeah,
there you go. So Wrinkle of Time. I think I thought I talked about this on the last one.
No, you didn't. So remember,
if not, yeah.
Remember last time, like I was sick, and so I was like, I'm not the right person to judge this movie.
That's right.
That's right. I'm gonna go watch it tomorrow, and then you did.
Yeah. So in my opinion, the little girl in there that played the main girl, Meg. She's phenomenal. I can't wait to see her in more films. I
Totally agree.
her and Chris Pine were really the only two that did something that made this worth watching, honestly. The little brother was probably the most annoying child actor I've ever seen in my life. And I wish he would have been. It would be really great if on YouTube, when this movie comes out, you guys do, you know how they always do like an edit of like, this is cut out, or, you know, we add this in every time someone says this. Every time that little kid gets on the screen, just cut him out, and I think it'd be a lot better flick. So the little brother was crazy annoying to me, and I hated how they called him by his like
Charles, whatever.
Charles, whatever. Like, oh, it drove me nuts. Like, I was like, I don't care that this child has 2 names. Please stop saying them. Like, let's call him Chuck for this. Like, give me 20 minutes of Chuck, and I might like this kid a little bit more. Hell, Chucky, even. I don't care. Just anything but Charles, whatever they called him the whole time. I also felt really bad for Mindy, because she had this, it looked like one of the more awkward dresses the whole film, and she just looked like she was not having a good time running around in that thing. So it was just a mess, honestly. I didn't read the books, so I don't have a lot of the backstory. So for people who are just going in to check out that film, like, it's all over the place. It really is held together very, very loosely. And luckily, Chris Pine is sprinkled in there just enough, and Meg is a well enough developed character where they kind of keep you going through the film. And other than that, honestly, I don't have much to recommend off of that movie, other than if you have a wonderfully imaginative kids that love great graphics and want to see something that's pretty fun, that would be my only reason to really go check that out. I
would totally agree with that. I did read the book when I was a kid. When I was younger, I have read the novel by Madeline.
When you was a small child.
When I was a small child, and it was, and I remember the book was amazing. Like, it's such a great book. Kids still read it today in school, believe it or not. I mean, it is still widely read.
Yeah, I've been looked. I literally am only looked at with mouth agape when I tell people I haven't read the book yet. They're like,
yeah, Madeline Ingle. There it is. I had to think of it. And the movie was just, I mean, it was, I think the way you described it as all over the place, I think is probably the right way to say it. It just was sloppy.
It was messy. Yeah.
Slop.
Absolutely. It was messy. It wasn't clean. Whatever they were editing together and chopping up, it just wasn't done right. And honestly, and I'm going to go back to it. I know it's my normal soapbox of every episode. Yeah. I'm going to just start it now. The trailers either over or undersold this movie, and they shouldn't have done that. We should have got, trailers around something else other than Oprah and Mindy and Zach Galifianakis showing up. Like, you had this amazing character with this wonderful young lady in Meg, and she should have been the highlight of that, because honestly, that's why you need to go check this film out, because this girl is phenomenal. So
yeah, I agree. And I don't want to talk about the movie anymore.
Deal.
The quest moves on. So Pacific Rim is next on the list. We both watched that. We both have seen the first one. We both loved the first one.
Loved the first one. Absolutely. Loved the first. Yeah. The first one was a lot of fun. I really dug it. I thought, as far as translating big mechs of a monster fighting, mech fighting film to like actually the big screen, but the first one did it better probably than most anything else ever did.
Yeah. The second one,
if Wrinkle in Time was messy, then Pacific Rim 2 was a shit show.
I'm gonna give the redemption for it is it did have some amazing monster robot fight scenes.
Absolutely.
Just not enough, and it had too much like lame storyline. Really bad story. And I felt like they just threw a bunch of kids in there just to maybe try to catch a different crowd. I don't know what the point of that was. If it's just trendy to throw a bunch of kids into a movie, but that felt weird. Especially when they're like, I don't want to give away. I don't care, people. Sorry. There will be spoilers on this cast.
There always will be. You're welcome.
And you'll thank me for it when you don't go watch things.
Yes. When you wait till they come on home video and you don't spend the money on
these kids are training for this short period of time, then all of a sudden they're going to jump in these big old mechs and save the world. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Mm-hmm. No, not really. Not when we know from the first movie how like intense it is to like pilot a Jaeger, and like it takes more than just a connection. It takes a lot of skill and training and practice, and like these elite pilots, and all of a sudden these kids just jump in and they just no.
Yeah, especially for like the one girl they tried to throw in there who had never drifted before. You know, she had just connected with her little baby bot.
Yeah.
Scrapper. Cool. Scrapper was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, Scrapper was pretty dope.
Scrapper was pretty dope.
And anything that was done in mechs for Pacific Rim 2 was awesome. The problem was there just wasn't enough of that, right?
Yeah, the issue was the story between.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, I kind of talk a lot about like staying true to a character, staying true to a story, and does it make sense? And I've talked about that. I'm going to talk about that later as well with another movie about them just staying true. And Pacific Rim, I can't really say they did that on this one. I don't feel like there was a lot of honor to the characters around the previous film and in the world. What I can say is visually, still stunning as ever. Mm-hmm. And actually, when it gets going on that back probably third of the film, when the kaiju, they reveal the kaiju like has hacked into the other bots. What are they called? Why can't I think of them right? What are they calling these things?
Jaegers.
The Jaegers. Yes, the Jaegers. Holy hell!
Well, they weren't even Jaegers. They were like.
They were drone Jaegers. They were drone Jaegers. Once they revealed that, I was kind of like, that's kind of a kick-ass idea. Like, I can get behind this. Like, this is kind of, I could see this happening. This is kind of badass.
Yeah.
And I liked what they did with that. So, yeah, get in there, have a nap for the first 45 minutes. Maybe just that middle 30, just kind of get rid of that middle 30 minutes of that
That's where you go to get a refill on your popcorn.
Yeah, this one, it's not going to hurt you to go hit the head, to go grab a beer, a popcorn, a soda, whatever you want. But just get back in for the last 25 minutes or so, because man, once it gets going, it is a ton of fun.
I agree.
It really is.
The last kind of fight stuff is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So what next on the list was well, let's save. We're gonna save Ready Player One to the end.
Yes.
We already talked enough, I think, about Isle of Dog, just because I haven't seen it yet. I don't want to get too much.
And I'm not going to spoil it for you because I know you love Wes Anderson. And you're trying to see it. So
Midnight Sun. So Midnight Sun. You've seen the previews for that.
Saw the previews for this one. Yep.
So the teenage girl
Bella Thorne, right?
Yeah, she's got XP. So she's allergic to sun. Basically, like the sunlight will kill her, and this is a legit disease actually, so that's kind of interesting and cool. And it was just like a feel good like love movie. My wife and I went to it. It's got like great happy moments. It's got some sad moments to it, and overall, like it was a good flick. It's not like one of those like you need to stop everything and go see this movie.
Yeah.
It's not like that. But especially if you're looking for like a date night movie, highly recommend it. It was a good, solid movie. And the dad, I want to say the dad is that cat from Step Brothers, the pow.
Oh yeah, Rob Riggle.
I think it was Rob Riggle, and he actually plays a serious role. And he did like a fantastic job, like playing this like really serious part. I'm actually trying to look.
Good for him, because he hasn't been able to line anything besides Fox NFL Sundays. So it's been a while since we've seen him in anything.
Like dick and fart jokes,
Yeah, like it's been a while since we've seen him in anything. So that's good to hear.
I'm looking it up right now just to make sure I'm almost there.
My thing is like now we just have this other great excuse, because you know how like there's people out there that don't like onions or don't like fish, and they're like instead of like saying I don't like it and being like offensive, they're just like, oh, I'm allergic to it, I can't eat it. Now there's a whole generation of kids, of gamers and stuff that didn't want to go outside, like I'm allergic to the sun, I just can't, I'm allergic. So
you're like, no, this chick literally is allergic. Legit. Yeah, and it is Rob Riggle, and he did a great job, and it was cool to see him in a serious role, and I think he nailed it. Like I really do. I think he did a fantastic job with it. So
nice, good for Rob. Good move.
Yeah, brother. Man. Lots of emotion, like, and just he did a great job.
Nice.
Unsane. How about you tell me about Unsane? A little bit?
Unsane. So Mr. Soderbergh has made another out there new concept, a new thought process, kind of big budget film without the big budget film. Because he filmed this all on an iPhone 7 Plus and edited it on an iPhone 7 Plus.
For real?
For real. 100%.
That's crazy.
And it's actually like I had no idea before going into the film that this was done on iPhone 7 Plus. And there were some pretty cool shots. There's some pretty cool angles. Obviously, you know, what they're doing right now with, you know, with full length shots and steady cams, you know, it's nothing of that quality, obviously. But man, like, if you were not told that this was iPhone 7 film movie, you would just be like, man, I kind of dug how they textured some of the film and they made it look a little more real. And they did a great job with it, honestly. Like, I was really blown away when I started thinking about that. Like, hold on a second, like this thing in my pocket could do that. It's crazy to think about what we're carrying around with us and how good the quality can be. Now, as far as the movie itself, not your best psychological thriller you'll ever see by any means, but there's enough really good characters in the film that you've seen before in other things like different commercials and bit parts and this and that and TV shows and movies. You know, there's not that big kind of crusher Hollywood star in there. I could see this being a tough project to pitch to people, being on an iPhone 7 Plus, and you know, and kind of the story wise of it. You know, those psychological thrillers, unfortunately, they're just not the biggest audiences for them. But I had a lot of fun. I thought it was a really cool premise. I thought it was a cool idea. But once again, you know, not the most original stuff, but definitely a really original setup, style, and man, like honestly, it makes me, you know, we sit here, and we talk about this every couple of weeks, and we're kind of like, how did this shit get made? Now I know how good of quality can come out of an iPhone. I'm like, bro, we should just make our own now. We got to make our own film. Like, we got to get a script. Like this, it's too easy now.
Let's say, man,
to think about how
you can film stuff down there. We can collaborate.
Just throw it all together, just stitch it up. It just really is like the entry level to this high quality of a film is very low now, considering what people were doing back, not just 10 years ago, but 20 into the 90s. And, you know, it nearly an impossible entry level when you go back into the 50s, the 40s, and the 20s. You know, Kevin Smith, you know, Clerk, something like that in the 90s, putting on something like this on a phone. I mean, you may never have known the difference. It's crazy to think about that right now. So, good on you, Soderbergh. I think it was a great move. I think it was very commendable to throw something out there like that. And it's definitely worth a watch, not just for the gimmick itself, but it's definitely a film that's worth going and seeing and checking out.
Nice. Good. So I'll give my last one. So I saw Paul the Apostle of Christ. And no, you know what? I want you to just real quick hit on Quiet Place.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a great tie-in for...
Okay, cool.
So, give me Quiet Place first.
So, A Quiet Place. First of all, I did not know Krasinski, Jim from The Office, directed this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I knew he was in there. I knew he was starring in it. Once again, I don't like to do a ton of research on films before they're actually out. I like the surprises. If you guys hadn't noticed, I love a good surprise. I love to be surprised. That's why I hate, you know, trailers that reveal a bunch of shit, things like that. And this was one of those films where, you know, we've been talking about since this show started on one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And it did not...
Except for that last trailer, which was like, it ticked me off.
Well, exactly. And there was a trailer, you know, just recently that revealed a lot. And it literally, I mean... It was about 30 seconds into that trailer, and I closed my eyes and plugged my ears. Like, I looked like a crazy dude in a theater if people were looking at me for some reason. I don't know why they would have, but I would have been looked at as a just complete psycho. Because I didn't want to hear, I didn't want to see, I didn't want to do any of that because I was so excited for what I'd already seen of this film, and I didn't want anything else to ruin it. Now, that last trailer... it does reveal just a little too much. Like, there's just a little too much of that movie given away still, which it takes away from some of the greatness that is A Quiet Place. The thing is from basically the get-go, it is fantastic. I mean, there is an early scene in this movie where the whole theater, packed theater, 100+ people. Oh, you're like, and it wasn't like this crazy jump. It was everybody took in the same breath, and I don't think we exhaled for the rest of the film.
Oh,
It
wow.
was intense. I mean, I was literally at points in there, I was sweating. Like, I was like, I'm fucking sweaty. Like, this shit is intense.
So, I mean, is it intense as in like scary, or intense as in like thriller and just like
thriller, like
on the edge of your seat?
Come on, edge of your seat. What's going on? What's happening? What's going on next? What's going on next? And there is that last kind of two scenes of the film, two set pieces of the film, where you don't know, you want to have a moment of like to absorb something, and it just doesn't let you do it, and it just keeps moving, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is crazy. But good on you, John Krasinski. Why can't I think of his name right now? I can't think of his first name. Krasinski, dude, I'm pretty sure this is your debut film. If it's not, I apologize. I don't keep up with your work like I should now. You are now one of my favorite human beings in Hollywood right now. That was fantastic flick to get started on your career as a director, and I look forward to anything he puts out from in the future, because I had a ton of fun. It's a little predictable. There's definitely there's a lot of foreshadowing moments that weren't hidden super well. You kind of know what's going to happen eventually. The thing is that it's so intense and so good. You're there the whole time, even though you kind of see it all coming. You can't wait to see it. Like, you're so excited to actually see the moments that are being set up. You're like, oh, it's good. It was really a fun movie.
Well, I'm gonna go watch this tonight. Actually,
Yeah.
when we're done here, I'm gonna go to dinner and a movie.
Absolutely. And it's not like so scary, like it's not like a Conjuring or a super spooky horror film or anything like that where people are going to be having nightmares, but it's enough to just keep the moments tense.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say a whole lot more. I can't wait for you to watch it, because then I would love to do a spoiler cast with it, because I think it's a great film to talk about.
Speaking of spoilers, I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. If you haven't seen Ready Player One yet, there will be spoilers. We are going to talk Ready Player One on this cast. It will not be separated.
Oh, yeah.
Separated. And so here's my tie-in. I watched Paul the Apostle of Christ.
Okay.
And I sent you a text about it, and I said, well, I hope they're true to the source material. Ha 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 ha. Right? And here's the funny part. It was not true to like biblical source, but I know a lot about like church history and extra biblical sources from that era. At one time I was a theology major, so I do know like a lot about like that stuff. And it takes a kind of a different route. It's less about Paul and it's more about like Christians in the early, like in around 65, 67 AD, which is Nero is emperor of Rome, and he sets Rome on fire and blames the Christians for it. And it's really like, that's the backdrop of what's going on.
Whoa.
And so it's different in that it ties all that into the life of kind of the church in Rome. With that being said, the movie was boring as hell. Okay? It was very slow paced, and it was hard. It was really hard to get through. But those that are wanting to watch it from like that kind of historical aspect, you're going to get a lot of things that are not historical, that are just Hollywood being Hollywood. But it's interesting in that aspect of kind of knowing the backdrop and whatnot. But it was hard to get through.
Gotcha. That's
they
tough.
did not necessarily stay true to the source material, which leads to my next movie.
But before we do, I'd actually would like to talk a couple of trailers I've been seeing before.
You want to hold on?
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna keep teasing you guys with some Ready Player One, but not quite give it to you yet.
We're giving you time to go watch it.
Yeah, we're giving you time. We're giving you some time to finish it up here.
Yeah. Let's talk some trailers real quick.
So the first one which was crazy. Yeah, Mamma Mia. So have you seen the trailer for Skyscraper yet with The Rock?
Yes, yeah, I'm
All
looking
right.
forward to that actually.
I'm not gonna lie. I was all about it. I was all in, and then they like cut the trailer, and then they go back to it and show him like hanging from his prosthetic
and it goes-
leg, and then it, like clicks. I was like, we didn't need to see that. Like, we didn't need to see that moment. It was a little too much in my opinion, but there's something about that flick that just makes me go, I can't wait to have an awesome action movie in my life, and I think this is gonna fill the void for it. So
Well, and you know what matches right up with that? That's coming out here in the next few weeks, which is Rampage.
Rampage, yeah, no, this is gonna be the summer of Rock, dude. This is his right now. This is his to have. He's currently. He had Jumanji. He's got Skyscraper. He's got Rampage. He's currently, I believe, filming the Shazam Black Adam stuff right now with Zach Levine. Right? What's his name? Zachary Levi. Levine is the singer guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's probably him too. They're probably having a song, a musical scene with Shazam and Black Adam.
I like to think that people named Zach hang out with each other. So
yeah, I know
Alphabet is going to come in and tell a couple jokes.
I just feel like the thing that's really going to save the DC universe is a musical number with Zach Levine, Shazam, Billy Batson. I feel like a musical number is really going to set this universe off right. So the one that's really got me, and the reason why I want to talk to you, because I don't know if you've seen anything on this or if you know anything about this, because I don't know if it's a book. I haven't done any research. Like I said, I'm terrible at this stuff. I like the surprise, right? So Peter Jackson's new flick coming out this year, Mortal Engines.
Yes.
So all I know from the trailer is the city of London is on wheels, and it devours a house.
Yeah.
What's happening?
So this is the cool thing about our quest, and how we don't get to, we talk like daily through like Messenger, but we don't always get a chance to talk in depth about stuff. I just had a buddy from work. We were talking books, and I was like, I need to find this new book to read. And we've been talking about movies and stuff. And he's like, oh, there's this new movie that's coming out in December, and it's based off of a book series. And it's called, what's it called again?
Mortal Engines.
Mortal Engines. So it is very much like a sci-fi, like, steampunk sci-fi kind of thing to it.
It had all those feels, absolutely.
Basically, cities are like these floating machines now. And so basically it's like London is going to overtake this smaller city. And so these huge cities are just like plowing around, taking over other cities for resources and things like that. And that's kind of the premise. And it's like a whole series.
Really?
Of books,
man, it's so trippy. Like it was super trippy. And then when it said directed by Peter Jackson, I was like, all right, well, I have to watch it now. I don't care how trippy it looks, how crazy of an idea this is. It's Peter Jackson. I have to be a part of this.
And beautiful. And it's going to be well directed. Well thought out. Yeah.
And here's the thing is he is now taking on steampunk for us. Like he took on fantasy for us as nerds and made fantasy awesome with, Lord of the Rings and everything. King Kong he brought to life, which made it, King Kong was just in Ready Player One. Once again, made it super relevant.
That's part of
maybe possibly. And now he's going to take on steampunk. Like good on you, steampunk community. You are going to have a phenomenal film that's going to make your community super badass. So get ready for all the bandwagoners, all the kind of climber-ons. So get ready for that, because that's going to be, I think that it, just from the teaser I saw, it looked fantastic.
Just real quick, so we also have some other movies coming out, like later this month we have Super Troopers 2.
420. Yeah, that's going to be, yeah, we'll probably have to have an episode. I think our next episode will have to be right, it'll have to be right behind for that episode of that movie, because I won't probably want to say anything until I see that flick, for sure.
It's going to be funny.
Yeah.
Avengers Infinity War, of course.
Yep.
Month,
Solo. Well, Solo's May, or is it end of April?
Solo is May.
And then Infinity Wars just got pushed into April.
April 27th, I think it is.
Oh my gosh, that's coming up so quick. Oh,
it is coming up quick, bro. Yeah, man. And then we got Deadpool. Coming
Deadpool too.
17th or 18th, yeah.
Man, April was packed. I had no idea. I didn't. Okay. I was gonna say, whoa, man, like this is gonna be a huge month.
Hey, so we just talked about Infinity Wars, and I would be absolutely remiss if I did not mention the amazing Max and Turbo Comics. They are Turbo Comics on Facebook. You can check them out also on Instagram at Turbo Comics, and you can check them out on Twitter at Turbo Comics ID. They've got an awesome Instagram store as well as a Facebook store. Max is super cool. He was on our podcast a couple weeks back. We just got to just talk about all things comics, and they're awesome folks if you're looking for some Infinity War backlog stuff.
Yeah, and the other cool thing about Max and the team at Turbo Comics for himself, is they love comic books and they love having others involved in comic books. And what's really cool with that is they are so welcoming. Like, they want to give you that knowledge. They're not going to sit there and test you if you call up and say, hey, I'm looking for Infinity Wars. And, they're not going to try to sit there and ask you, these questions about Wolverine being an issue, whatever. Like, they are so inclusive, and Max is so inclusive for getting people involved with comics. Like, he truly, in my opinion, is an artist of comic retail. Like, the dude is just fantastic, and he was so fantastic. In fact, him, myself, and Igor from the website, you also might know him as Pete, we have just started a brand new show as well called All for Comics, because we are trying to make it a much more inclusive medium. People really think that there's a lot of intimidation going into a comic book store, getting into comics. People are a little timid. They don't want to seem like just the movie noob and things like that. And that's okay. Like that's completely okay if you are that person, because of people like Max, from people that are at the conventions who are genuinely excited for someone to be interested in the things they are. And really, one of the things that's really cool right now is we have someone a part of what we're doing now, and we're really lucky to be a part of what he's doing in his business in Turbo Comics. And it just shows you how good of a guy he is, because most people running a business like his that are doing a lot of resale and doing these conventions, they don't have time for our fanboy nonsense. And for him to want to be a part of it just shows me how big of a fanboy he himself is. Totally. And it makes it a ton of fun, and it makes it somebody just great to be around and great to work with. So go check out Turbo Comics, hit them up on Facebook, give them 5 stars, give them likes. They are phenomenal. Hit them up if you're looking for those backlogs like Bcon talked about. And then keep an eye out for the brand new show. We just recorded episode 1 of All for Comics. So really exciting stuff, man. We're stoked.
Dude, I cannot wait to listen to that. I'm super excited.
It was really fun. We even have a special guest that has never before put their voice, their name, their face on anything we've done before. You've only seen this person in chat channels before, and we pulled them out of the chat channels into a seat, and they recorded with us, and it was amazing. So a new member to the family of nerds here at Malice Corps. So we're super stoked about All for Comics.
Love it. I love it. Also, if you're interested in new comics, so Turbo Comics is all about getting you key issues as well as filling in your collection. They also buy comics, people. So if you have a comic collection that you're maybe looking to get, to get rid of, maybe
to offload it, catch a couple bucks.
They absolutely purchase as well. But I wanted to say, go to our website, mouse-corp.com, and click on our Amazon links and go purchase from Amazon. You can get great new comics from there as well. Or you can pick up books, like audiobooks like Ready Player One, which we're about to talk about. And you got an Audible subscription you can jump onto and get 2 free books through our Audible link. So, do those things that helps us out, helps you out, because you get an extra perk that you don't get just going to Audible. You only get 1 book, so you get 2 through us. We just give you 50% more.
We just give you 50% more because we're good like that.
More, right? Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. It depends on the size of book you get, Yeah. So I have a buddy who's been doing the free thing. He did it through our links and stuff like that, and he's like, man, I really want to maximize my free book, my free credit on the month. He's like, so I think I'm gonna get what is it? I just totally blanked on it. War and Peace. He's like, I'll get a 50-hour book. So, yeah, he's like, but what's funny, if you go and look at the reviews for War and Peace, it literally, like, some of them are in there like, we know you want to max out your free book for the month. Like, they already calling people out on going after a 50-hour book.
I always recommend get what you want, and Audible is really good about if you don't like something. And this is legit. If you do not like it, you can return it and get your credit back.
Whoa, I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll talk off air about it. But yeah, you can definitely return books that you do not like.
Good for them. Yeah, I just got Artemis Fowl, and that's a new movie going to be coming out. And I've been digging Artemis Fowl. It started off a little slow, but it's picked up really well. Actually, I'm a big fan so far.
Yeah. Well, but we, at the end of the day, I'm gonna go watch Quiet Place. I'm gonna go watch Quiet Place and go have a nice steak. It's gonna be great.
Highly recommended.
We'll watch a movie tomorrow. I'm gonna watch one probably on Sunday. So I'll be right back up, and we'll be back with you here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
To review the fantastic world of movies and film. And you know what? I've enjoyed the ride so far. We're 1/4 the way through it.
Quarter of the way through the year, quarter way through the movies. It's really exciting. It's been a blast. And then remember, if you guys have anything you want to share, hit us up on our Twitter at Quest for Movies. And if you guys want to join in the conversation, hit us up on that Quest for Movies. Man, we have a ton of fun on there with everybody who's out there. Thank you for all the 5-star reviews as well. We really can't thank you guys enough for liking, commenting, sharing, and not letting us quest alone. This has been a really fun kind of thing to do with B here, with Bcon. Like, I've been having a ton of fun with him talking movies and having a blast with them, and I want to keep having that fun with you guys as well. So keep sharing. Let us know what you guys really like. Let us know what you thought of Ready Player One. I think it's going to be a hot subject for a lot of people who've read the books, so let us know what you thought about that. And more than anything, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, all of those wonderful things. Please remember, like I said, I'm the Big Papa Matt. You can follow me on malice-corp.com or my Twitter handle at the Big Papa Matt. Also check out the brand new podcast coming, Comics for All, on Malice Cast as well. That's going to be a ton of fun on top of that, as well as the Nerd Mosh Pit, another Malice Corp family of brand podcast. And B, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, by the way, Nerd Mosh Pit is my guilty pleasure, bro. My guilty pleasure. I love listening to you, Kenny, and Nick talk, man. It is the conversation that you wish you could join. It is such a good, fun time. You can follow me on Twitter at Bcon_MaliceCorp. Yeah. You can also send us an email. Like, if you just want to, like, if you can't fit it into Twitter, like, shoot us an email, and that's quest for 100 movies, quest for 100 movies at gmail.com. We'll have the links down below.
Absolutely. And thank you to Mess With You 150 for all the help in producing all that good stuff as well. We can't thank you enough, buddy. We appreciate it. And other than that, we once again thank you all so much for your time, the love, the support. We really do appreciate it. And until next time,
yeah, friends don't let friends quest alone.
Peace.
Then let us be rid of it. Once and for all.
It's a dangerous business, Frodo. Going out your door, you step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Bye-bye.